And so today I want to talk about something that it might not be popular, it may even seem offensive, but at the end of the day, you can't fault me because it's real. So once again, remember, we're at Pier 21. And Pier 21, as I said, is one of 48 entry points for enslaved African Americans to enter into the U.S. At that time, you did not have a problem with working with us. At that time, working with us was normal because that was just the way things were. Like, the enslaved Africans did this, they did that, and they did this, and they did that, and they ended up building a whole bunch of things. They ended up creating a whole bunch of things. They spurred industry. They became essential to wars. They became essential to elections. They became essential to the infrastructure that caused a business to grow. They were slaves, but they were still a workforce. They were still essential to your endeavors. You did not mind working with us when we worked for free. And at the end of the day, from what I've been taught from my friends who come from that side of the fence, is that I can't be offended about that. I have to learn to move on from that. And that's all I'm asking of you, is can we move on from that? Can we look at it as inflation? And can we just say to ourselves, like, okay, they were essential before. They helped to develop generational wealth that is still seen today. And if they were essential then to my endeavors, then regardless to what I may think about them, they can be essential to my endeavors today. We don't have to always see eye to eye. We don't even have to always like each other. There's a whole bunch of people that go to work every single day and they are not friends with their boss. They can't tell you what their boss does when the boss gets off at 5 o'clock because they don't know. Because they're not friends with their boss. Their boss goes one way and they go another way at the end of the day. So the thing is that even in our networking, we have to learn how to be diverse. The same way that this port once brought in enslaved African Americans, this port now transports numerous people. They sit next to each other, they walk next to each other, they get on the ferry boat together. It's been transformed into a place where people can eat together, where ships come in, they take people on cruises for fun and recreation, and they all get on the boat together. A lot of them work together. And so, like I said, this message may not seem popular. It may even seem offensive to some people because we want to be stuck on make it right because it was wrong. We want to be stuck on fix it, do it, say it. You know, but at the end of the day, I used to tell my oldest son this. I didn't tell it too much to my youngest son, but I used to tell it to my oldest son. I would say there's no sense in allowing people to make you so angry that you want to get suspended from school for fighting. Don't let them make you that angry. Now, if you're defending yourself, that's one thing. But don't let someone make you so angry that you get suspended from school just because they got underneath your skin. Because you can beat a person bloody and they will look up from the ground, and if they're defiant enough, they will say, and you still a nigga. You still this, you still that. People can think what they want to think. There's no fixing everyone's perspective for them to see it your way. But there is one thing that is completely universal, and that's goals. Everybody in one shape, form, or fashion has some type of goal that they want to accomplish. And whether your goal is quote unquote, according to society, a little goal, or whether your goal is some grand goal, you still need someone to help you with that goal. There's someone who's going to teach you how to write, someone who's going to teach you how to read, someone who's going to teach you how to break it up into pieces and then comprehend it on a different level. There's always going to be someone who has to contribute to where you're trying to go. And that person may not always look like you. You may not always like that person. Some of the best lessons that I've learned in life have come from someone who I didn't particularly like, or a situation that didn't particularly feel good. But it taught me something. It propelled me forward. And so all I'm saying is that we do not need a government decree. We don't need another holiday. We don't need another symbolic anything in order to make progress. You are like-minded? Awesome. Seek out somebody who you can collaborate with. There have been so many people who I have done work with, and it was purposeful. They had it in their mind that, no, I want to seek out someone who does this. I'm going to look online at their reviews to see if they do that. And they purpose in themselves that, okay, this year I'm going to spend X amount of money in this community. This year I'm going to spend X amount of money in that community. Companies do it. Companies set out and they say, okay, my foundation is going to spend this much money with this community, with this cause, with this, with this, that. So it's not as though I'm saying something that's biased or stereotypical or wrong in any way. People may want to make it that way, but no, this is the way that our world works. That's what's going on right here at this pier. They have repurposed it, but the history of it is what it is. But it's been repurposed, and now people are using it in the repurposed fashion. And that's all I'm saying, is that at the end of the day, we can network with each other purposefully. You can develop a diverse network of folks purposefully. You don't have to wait until a holiday to sponsor something. You don't have to wait until some opportune moment, to make connections. When we arrived in Galveston, there was a woman who just started talking to us in the parking lot of the Sam's Club. It wasn't odd, it wasn't strange, it wasn't the kind of conversation that makes you say, I want to hurry up and get away from this person. It wasn't that. It was such a peaceful aura around the woman. And come to find out, she was doing something that her husband, who was now deceased, he used to do. He used to always be outgoing and talk to new people and get to know folks from all over. And so now that he was gone, she was just trying to embody his spirit and do the same thing. And it was awesome because I was able to, learn about the restaurants in the neighborhood, meet someone new, make a connection in a place where I've never been. And that's all it takes. It's just that simple. That you make it up in your mind that if you lock eyes with someone and you've never met anyone from that background, you'll wave. If they wave back, you say, how are you? And if they say, how are you back, then you'll just start a conversation. And the next thing you know, you've made a new connection. I met someone, he was actually having a business talk in a Starbucks. And he was mentioning some things about real estate, and it just struck a chord with me. I was like, oh snap, that's like similar to what my husband and I do. And I waited until they had a little break in what they were talking about, and I just introduced myself. And it wasn't a great reception. It was not a great reception at first. But then as I left, I was like, oh, no problem, sorry, I wasn't trying to intrude or anything like that. I walked out, and then the man, he runs behind me and he said, you know what? I'm so sorry. I don't even know why I did that. Let me start again. And once again, able to meet a new person, make a new connection. That person lives in New York. I'm from New York. We were able to kick it a little bit about back home, and I'm starting to travel for business and he's traveling for business, and we were talking about some of the places where we were gonna be, and we gonna be in an area that's similar to each other, and we may be able to connect, maybe not. But at the end of the day, that's how it works. You put yourself out there. You're not afraid of rejection. And sometimes you may encounter a person who's a little resistant, because it is kind of odd sometimes if someone just starts talking to you. But you'll win people over along the way. And you will make connections that will change your life. You may say to yourself, oh, I don't need that person. But no, you do. Because we've always been in a mutually beneficial situation. Maybe not so much beneficial as in it felt good, but even all of those things that we went through, maybe at the hand of your ancestors, maybe not. Maybe your perception is just based on what's going on today in our society. But ultimately, we can get to the place where all of the things that we went through, meaning folks that look like me, all of the things that we went through, we can get to a place where we can say to ourselves, you know what? It caused us to build a whole new land. Like, it literally caused us to create something out of nothing. That's why when you look around now, it's so hard to believe that someone could escape from a home, a plantation, and only go a few miles away and be undetectable. The reason why that doesn't make sense is because everything is built up now. And most of this stuff was built up by the enslaved African Americans. So even if no one gives you a certificate, even if no one holds a parade and says, you did that, you know you did that. And so it's still something that we came through. It's still something that we evolved from. And so now at this point, there has to be this change of mind, this shift, this movement that says, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna be purposeful. I'm gonna make connections with people who don't look like me. I'm going to share my knowledge, share my support. And not because they need my help or this is a handout or they're asking for something again. No. But for no other reason than because you were willing to work with us when we were working for free. And we created a whole bunch of real cool stuff. And so being that even in the stock market, when you invest in a company and that company goes belly up, sometimes you hold on to the stock and then later on it goes back up and boom, you back in investment mode. So that's what we're saying now, that yeah, you know, the free stock took a hit. You know, the margins are different now, but you still have margins. And so all we're saying is just go along with the times, like roll with the situation. Give that inflationary situation a chance. The same way you're willing to do it with anything else economic, do it with human capital. It's just not free anymore. Let's do something that's truly mutually beneficial. Let's be diverse and let's just take control of the situation ourselves. Let's stop waiting for someone to tell us that it's cool or that it's a vibe, it's a movement now. No, it just takes one radical person to meet another radical person and just make the shift. So I hope that you have enjoyed Galveston, Texas with me. I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. It is always my hope that people will see these videos and that they will say to themselves, you know what, let me dig a little deeper. Let me share this. Let me spread this knowledge. I know that this is not content that's fun and that's exciting. This is not, you know, what people usually seek out when they're online. They're seeking out fun, recreation, and excitement. But I double dog dare you to just spend a little bit of time looking up things that will enrich your mind, that will give you a perspective that's different from the one that you're used to. Just compare them, just seek them out. The same way you would do for a college professor when they tell you that you need 8 to 12 different sources. But just do it because, and you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at how many different ways history will show you that we have been beneficial to each other. Start with your like-minded tribe, seek them out, and then make things happen. Thank you once again for joining me, Jan Harp, on whichever social media platform you're watching this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, share this message, and all that good stuff. Thank you once again. Have a great rest of the day. Purposeful when you're trying to network in a diverse manner because it's not something that comes natural. We are not naturally inclined to go outside of our comfort zone to seek out people who we do not know and we don't know even what we have in common with them or if we have anything in common with them at all, but yet we're going to go and seek out these strange people to try to network with them. At first, that doesn't even make any sense. So you have to be purposeful. It has to be something that you intently set out to do. And this vlog is more so geared to that mindset, the mindset that all races need to network with each other, that we have to figure out how to be purposeful in making a connection with one another. Something that a friend of mine said to me a while back, he was explaining to me how you can't get offended in business. And that's something that a lot of my people, a lot of us, we have a problem with that. Like, if you do something, I'm offended, that's it. Like, we can't expect to continue to be friends if you've offended me. That doesn't make any sense. But what I was taught was that, no, sometimes in business, especially if you're in business long enough, even, as a matter of fact, even if you're just alive long enough, someone is going to do something that's going to hurt your feelings, that's going to stab you in the back, make you feel betrayed, make you feel powerless, feel taken. But you have to still, like, weigh the scales and say to yourself, okay, is this something that I can forgive? Is this, you know, a situation where we can still move forward and make money together? And it just seemed outrageous to me. And then I saw an interview with Cardi B, yes, but saw an interview with Cardi B, and she was so upset, and she was saying how, you know, I don't like this fame thing, because if someone does something to you, you can't curse them out, you can't do anything to them. And that was the mindset that she had before. That was like her defense mechanism, is that if someone does something to me, then at least I know that I have the ability to do something back. And it's like, no, you can't bring that into networking. You can't bring that into a diverse situation. You have to completely change that type of thinking in order to be able to work together. But it's not a black mindset. It is a people mindset. This is my group. This is where I hang out. This is where I feel comfortable. Oh no, those people are like this, this, and this. Even though you have nobody in your circle that you are very close with that comes from that circle, you've already been trained a certain way to believe a certain thing. And the core of our situation, especially here in the U.S., because I can't speak for other places, but especially here in the U.S., is that we just see each other differently. You see us one way, we see you another way, and for some odd reason, we can never seem to bridge that gap. And as always, thank you so much for watching. But if by any chance anything I said in these vlogs offended you, please note, you are not my target audience. And I'm completely fine with you leaving this page and going to a page where they do not believe in absolute equality. But as for me, those who subscribe on my channel, and anyone else who follows, we believe in absolute equality, and we are not interested in those who are not willing to expand their perspective, broaden their horizons, and embrace diversity. Have a great day.